Welcome to this brief introduction to a crystal grid and using it for healing purposes. So previously I've done a video on the basic introduction to crystals and the different sort of crystals, how they sort of come in different sizes and different shapes, and the basic understanding of crystals. So this is within a little mini series that we're creating of all sorts of different uses of crystals and why you would actually bother using them, and why you might be attracted to them and why you just can't get enough of them. But as a healer or an energy worker or anybody out there who wishes to have a bit more better health, who wishes to have more energy, who wishes to have more abundance, there are many, many reasons why you'll be attracted to crystals. And we'll do a whole video on if this is what the area that you're in life that you need some help with. We can address it through the crystal kingdom, through the mineral kingdom. So there are many, many brilliant advisors and experts out there on crystals and their usages and a life with them. And I'll leave you to do your own research to a deeper level to get the most understanding that's perfect for you. But I just wanted to introduce you to a very simple crystal grid that's hexagonal. Many grids that are used, many sort of energetic crystal grids are used with sacred geometry. And this one that I'm going to do with you today, everyone can do as long as you've got 6 or 8 crystals. We're actually going to use 8, but we're going to put them in a 6 hexagonal shape to actually use for healing intention. And this actually goes along very well because the crystalline form of quartz is in fact hexagonal. So you've got your 6-sided shape there. And this is an example of a beautiful, stunning quartz crystal with all its different facets. Quartz is used for many things in our world today, and the main use of quartz within a crystal grid is amplification. It amplifies the energies around or the intention that we're going to actually put into it. So many crystal grids are done around sacred geometry, the basic shapes that make up all matter and form and shape. And so one of the ways you can actually do this is just to pick 6 crystals, 6 quartz crystals, and they come in many shapes and sizes. You know, I could be using these gorgeous examples here and make 6 of those. But I've just chosen these Lemurian points. Lemurian crystal energies is something else that I'm going to be doing a lovely little video on over this year. And it'd be nice to go into what sort of intentions you'd use with these particular Lemurians, and what is a Lemurian crystal and how does that whole thing work. So that's something for you to look forward to if you're interested in Lemurian stuff. But basically, this is this simple example of how you would use hexagonal grid. So you've got your 6 crystals that you've picked out that feel yummy to you, and you've got your points all pointing into the center. And then you put your photograph of you in there. Or you want to send some good, yummy amplification of fabulous energies to the earth. You might put a photograph of that there, or a situation on the earth, or somebody you're well-wishing or wanting to assist with. So photograph goes in there, and you can leave that to the magic of the crystal itself and its energies that it's amplifying. Your well-wishing, so that's your intention that goes in there, and the actual sacred geometry of that shape will also aid it. But what I really want to talk to you about today and show you how to do is a grid for healing purposes in full intention. And for this, you're actually going to need 8 crystals. So I'm going to use an example here of the tumble stones. And tumble stones are freely available all around the world, and they're minimal outlay for buying them as well. So basically what you're looking for is you've got 8, you can see I've got 8 here. And I'm looking now to just sit with these crystals, and I'm looking for the intention of which is the master crystal, which would I actually feel is a master crystal. A master crystal to me is one that's actually got a very strong energy and that would hold a grid together. And today it feels like this one. And it's not about size or shape for me. It's just about what my intuitive feeling says that's the master crystal for today. It might not be the one I would choose tomorrow, but I've got a particular intention that's set at the beginning of this video, is to share with you how to set a grid for healing purposes, and that I would be choosing a master one, and the next best one for me today is this one. And you're left with your 6. So in any way, on any form or order, you just basically put your 6 out. I like to basically have a north and south one for me, and then they match around that. So it just starts, you see how I'm fiddling? Fiddling is good. The reason I'm fiddling is because I could have my grid like this, and it's still kind of hexagonal, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And that's what I'm engaging you with and inviting you in with, is fiddle about with it until you sort of think, that's it. So you put it in the shape that really feels right. This is all about feelings. It's all about intuition. It's all about what pleases you, what really feels right. So we can do a grid literally this small. It's not about the size. It's about the intention that goes in and the crystals that you choose. Quartz crystals, as I've said before, are amplification of energy. Now, just because I'm showing you how to do this actual process, I'm going to make my grid a bit larger because it's just going to be easier to show you as an example of what we do. So basically we set our grid so it feels right to us, and then we put our second crystal that we chose in the center. And again, it doesn't matter which way round you put it, but it does matter that it feels right to you. Okay, so that's beautiful. So I've got a central crystal to my beautiful hexagonal. See, fiddle, 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 fiddle. It's important to get it right till it feels right to you. So I'm done. So that's it, set. And now I'm going to use my master crystal, and I'm going to sort of intend that this master crystal helps to add an additional charge to the whole grid. And we're going to charge it up with the full intention that whoever's name I place within this grid, or photograph, or wish that's written on a piece of paper, possibly, that this grid continues 24/7, 365 days a year to send beautiful, magical, healing energies for the highest good of all, no harm be done, that reaches this person, let's say it's you, in perfect divine timing for the perfect outcome that's in line with your soul's journey and your soul's purpose. So these are the sort of words I would use to set a healing grid up. As a healer, I would have made sure that I was very, very grounded in a ritual before beginning. I was very connected with my divine source, that my healing energy could be felt within my hands, the palms of my hands. And I do have a previous video on exploring the way of how to feel your own energies, how to feel your own healing energies. I do recommend that you follow that, and so that you can feel your own energies in your own hands, and that would add another layer to this crystal grid. So previously I've basically always selected my crystals, I'll hold them in my hand, and I'll charge them up for healing purposes. There's another video basically on how to select your crystals, how to cleanse them, how to dedicate them, and how to energize them in this series, which again you may want to look up before you get to this stage. These crystals that you see before me are already cleansed, they're already dedicated, they're already charged with their own magnificence. So here we move on through and we take this crystal, and then I'm having that mantra, if you like, that wish, that intention, that ceremony going through my mind all of the time that I'm doing this, that this is a healing grid. It amplifies love. The intention is whatever I place within the grid is healed to its optimum level that's agreed with the soul purpose of that being, and it's in perfect divine timing, that no harm is done and all is well. And so we start off with 3 circles around the center one, and then we're going to do a figure of 8 3 times around each stone. 1, 2, 3, and then we're looping it to the central one. 1, 2, 3, and then keeping going round, and we're going round in a clockwise direction. Making sure you loop the whole crystal, and 3 little turns and then off. And then I would keep that master crystal somewhere safe. Okay. And then you might want to just gaze at the central crystal for a while, and you can do this with me now. It's just to gaze on that, and occasionally, sometimes what starts to happen as we're looking at the central one is some of these crystals in our beautiful shape start to disappear from the physical sight. Sometimes all of them, sometimes one, and often as healers we take that as a beautiful readiness that the crystal grid is charged and ready to work with you. And it's at this point that we will put a photograph of ourselves in the middle, or just our name on a bit of paper or card, or anybody else or anything else you want to send healing to, that you've had permission to send healing to. And that, my friends, is a crystal grid and how we set it and use it for healing purposes. So you can actually leave that and it will do it, it'll carry on doing itself, because crystals don't kind of run out of energy, but we as humans like to look after things. So you might, in the old days and the origins of Reiki, you would reset this every 3 days. I found with a really powerful intention, the way we've done it today, I might not revisit my grids then for maybe 7 days, sometimes 4, sometimes longer. I'll definitely link in, because I like each day just to add my intention and my love to that, so it's almost building on a daily basis. But I don't really feel the need very often to recharge it with the master grid. But if I do exactly the same process. So let's say 12 days later, I'm starting to feel like the grid needs a bit more of my input, my connection for me, then I will do exactly the same again, and I'll show you again. So it just follows the same pattern. I'm making sure this isn't about speed, that just comes with practice. We make sure that we have all of them included and put that one aside once again. When we've finished with that and we want to actually collapse the grid, we want to complete it and finish it, then many people do this in different ways. So I would really suggest you practice the way that is right for you. But I like to usually take mine down the way I've set them up, but you don't have to. But certainly to take out the central one. And then literally you can give thanks to the crystals for their aid. And you would collect all 8 together and then I'd go and wash those off in a wonderful stream, or under the tap if that's what you have, tap water, and you cleanse them off, and then I would leave them to rest a bit, and I would charge them up, as we've talked about in that video of how to choose and cleanse and use crystals, by the light of the moon. Full moon for me is my choice. Some people use the new moon, as you'll see in that video, or maybe by the sun, depending if I'm looking for masculine or female energy. And yeah, it depends how I feel at the time. A lot of this is about that. It's about how you feel and how it feels at the time. So do comment below. Let me know how you get on with this. If there's any further things that you want to know about it or questions, then fire away and I will do my best to answer. And if you like this series and you want to know more about crystals and the sort of thing I'm doing in this channel, then please subscribe below and we can keep in contact that way. Lots of love, soul to soul. Enjoy your crystals. Bye.